All right, we got some fun stuff to talk about tonight. We are going to be talking a lot about tarot cards, which we
Yeah,
promised. I think we said we were going to do this on one of the other shows, right? On our last show, I think we said we were going to do this.
we
So,
did mention
as
that.
promised, we're going to do that. And we're going to be talking about the new horror movie, Tarot, which we watched. We're going to be giving our review on that.
We
But
are.
before we get into that, it is Pluto retrograde right now, which I just discovered. And Pluto
Mhm.
retrograde spans from May 2nd to October
This-
11th. That is long. So we got
um,
Electrasoul here to tell us all about that. Oh, should we be worried about Pluto retrograde? What's going on? What does that mean? Let's start with that.
Honestly, Pluto retrograde, I feel like to some people, I can understand why it's kind of nerve-wracking. It's because Pluto is such a transformational, just very strong planet. It does cover a lot of healing. So this is definitely a time in which healing comes in with power and control. I wouldn't say issues, but power, what is it called? Battles, like power and
Power
control.
struggles?
Yes, exactly. I literally wrote it down just like this here. I wrote down that it brings out the jealousy and power struggles in relationships. That's a
Uh-oh.
huge thing. And I've honestly even noticed that starting from May 2nd. And honestly, we'll see because, the summer, there's going to
Uh-oh. People
be
getting
fall time,
jealous.
that stuff. Yeah.
You can
So
get caught in the club. Supposed to be
stuff. I feel like
home.
there's a lot of stuff that could manifest in that way, but not even just jealousies like that, because I don't like to focus on that, but more of just, let's say, for example, if you're in a friendship that doesn't suit you and doesn't help you, and you feel as though that person might have a little agenda against you, during this time, they will probably make it very clear, whether it's through their actions or weird little jokes and, things like that
Little
that you pick
subs.
up
People
on.
gonna be subbing you.
Yeah, basically, you just
Damn.
peep things that you're just like, okay, I don't really like
I
that,
peeped that.
and
I
then
peeped that
you
bitch.
you take it and you go with it, So it's like really important that during this time when those people make it apparent to you who they are, you do something about it and you don't overwrite it, especially now because when it happens, it's gonna be happening. You
Cut
feel
them
me? Like
off. Get them
very
out.
yes, you cut
Get
them
them
off. Don't even
out.
waste your time.
Don't
You
take
can
the
get something better
subs. Do
somewhere else,
not take
manifest
the
that.
subs.
But yeah, there's definitely going to be power struggles. I would say that yes, having relationships fall apart just in case because of these jealousies. I'd even say even in relationships that could be the case. If maybe a boyfriend is jealous of a girlfriend or a girlfriend is jealous of a boyfriend or anyway, girlfriend, boyfriend, anything. It could be just you guys having a low key, maybe in the past it wasn't so apparent, but now you can low key expect that to come up to the surface. So it's
Uh-oh.
important to keep your eye on that and to not make excuses like I stated. You have to be very wise about what you're doing here. And also another thing, I think this is really important, is to not be prideful during this time because obviously with power struggles, it's very easy to feel as though you need to prove a point and if someone says something that you don't like, you can easily write them off as wrong and all this stuff. And I understand, but at the same time, it's almost like you would be digging a deeper grave for yourself or deeper hole for yourself when you shouldn't be. You should be taking everything from a soulful perspective because with Pluto, it's like a lot of ego challenges. So, you might feel as though you need to again prove a point, or you might even feel the need to obsessively, egotistically control situations. And, like we are the creators of our reality, so we can manifest different outcomes for everything. But in this case, it's almost as though someone would feel like they would drive themselves crazy trying to control a situation that they don't generally feel in control of. So letting go of control in that sense is going to be really important because you don't want to feel as though you're driving yourself crazy or getting too obsessed with the situations at hand. And letting go is going to be your best bet for real. And
Let it
also
go.
because
Let it
where
go.
it's in Aquarius, and then it's going to go back into Capricorn from September 1st to November 19th, and then Aquarius again. And it's going to be a long time in Aquarius. So it's going
Oh
to be,
boy.
well, Aquarius is honestly, I would say because it's the opposite of Leo, it's pretty prideful. But the difference is that, with Leos, they wear their pride on their sleeves a little bit more. Aquariuses are more low key about their pride. So I would say that it's very wise to be careful about who you confide in. Don't, what is it called? Ladder climb? Is that how you say it? Basically, when you hop on to other people's successes
Okay.
to
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, to, uplift yourself and all that stuff because it could backfire on you. And another huge thing is to be careful about your privacy because, well, on the internet, be careful about your
Oh
privacy
yeah.
because on the internet, Aquarius is internet ruled. So if, you post your house or you post something going on, or maybe even in a well-known apartment, anything, people could figure it out because it's on the internet and because Pluto is obsession. This is where honestly a lot of stalkers manifest. I've seen a lot of crazy things since,
Uh-oh. Lock the
yeah,
door.
Pluto,
Lock the
Pluto
door.
started Aquarius in general, but with retrograde, it's kind of like backwards. It's a little bit more intense, I would say, at this time. I wouldn't say to be afraid though. I mean, I'm not afraid, of course. It's all about the way that you perceive these things. But I would say that a very egotistical person is definitely going to be challenged. So that's very
Watch that
important
ego.
to be mindful of what you're
Keep that
feeding within your
ego.
reality
Keep that
at
ego
this.
tame right now.
Yeah, you want to be
Relax.
smart about what you're doing and just know that, yeah, there's no reason to make things into a bigger deal than they actually are. You
Oh,
just have
that's
to
what
be
I do
smart.
every day. So this is how I'm gonna do it more now.
Capricorn, yeah, of
Oh, so I
course, you
gotta
already know.
chill.
You
I
know
gotta
it.
chill. I gotta chill out.
Yeah,
I gotta
right?
chill. I gotta watch my stalkers. I gotta chill out my ego. It's gonna be crazy.
Right? It's
What
gonna be challenging, but it'll be fine.
what else could
100%.
we expect?
Honestly, I would say like mostly for sure when it comes to the power struggles, that's a big part of it. But another big part is inner transformations. I would say that a lot of people are experiencing transformations at this time. There's Pluto again is a very transformational planet. And of course, with Aquarius, it feels like a lot of people are becoming very innovative. I would say that transformation in terms of becoming not smarter, I would say
Wiser?
more again creative. Just
Oh, okay.
very
Okay.
wait, what did you say?
You
What did
said
you say?
wiser.
Yeah, wiser too, honestly, because Aquarius is at their best, they are very wise. I would say at their worst, they're very childish. But
Okay.
yeah, for sure. It's about becoming more creative, more innovative, more technology based, even. I would say that, I mean, with retrograde, it's a little iffy because it's a moving backwards time kind of thing. But those are the challenges that help it manifests into a better way for everybody, if that makes sense. It's almost like you're being challenged. Let's say, for example, with your phone's acting the fuck up, and or maybe on social media, things seem like they're moving backwards for you or things like that. But in reality, what could actually be happening is that the skin is shedding, the old skin is shedding, and you're reaching a new level in height. You just
Right.
need to perspective to that.
Set you up for something
So
better down the
yeah,
line.
100%. Yeah, definitely. And I would say that Aquariuses would be definitely affected by this. I mean, of course, because it is in Aquarius, but I mean, it goes to the same for everyone. It's not really a matter of, yeah, I would say like everyone in general. I just think it more so depends on your mentality. It could be anybody that could be deeply affected by this. I would say people who have Pluto based uh planets in their chart, like Scorpio and things like that, if you have a lot of Scorpio in your chart, that might affect you a little bit more. But I feel as though, or Aquarius, like I stated, but even then, it's still very transformational in a very good way. It's just about the way
Okay.
that you perceive these things.
So
So it's very
not really any specific signs need to look out for this, like a Capricorn or an Aquarius or something like that. It's just everybody, how
I
you
would
handle it, basically, who you are.
Yeah, I would say that it does affect every sign for sure. I feel like every retrograde affects every sign. I don't think it's a really I don't always think it's a matter of a specific sign, but I do feel as though when, for example, Mercury retrograde, that is Gemini and Virgo ruled. So usually those planets, or yeah, those two zodiac signs get affected more because it's the ruling planet orbiting backwards. So a lot of Geminis would get their words tangled up and Virgos too, or they could say something they don't mean. But in general, as you know, it's kind of like the overall, okay, well, everyone, it's Mercury
It's gonna
retrograde. Be
affect
careful.
everybody.
Yeah.
Is this
So
so? This is the
but
same
in
thing
this
with
case, I would
this.
say Pluto. Yeah. I would say people with like Scorpio placements, Aquarius, and even Capricorn because it's transitioning from Capricorn to Aquarius. And Aquarius and Saturn, Aquarius and Capricorn are both Saturn ruled planets. So this is definitely a very transformational time. I don't feel like it's anything to be scared of, though. I know a lot of people are scared of things like this, but there's nothing to fear for sure.
So you and I are gonna be transforming because we're Capricorns.
I would say so. And I have a
Okay.
lot of Aquarius in my chart, so shit. And you're
Okay.
an Aquarius Mercury, so
That's
definitely.
right. I forgot. So
Yeah, there you
Capricorn
go.
and Gemini, you said. What were the other ones?
Oh, I would say Capricorn, Aquarius, and Scorpios. I
Okay, there
feel
you
as though they
go.
would be affected the most.
The most. Okay. Are you doing anything personally to batten down the hatches during this time, or what are you doing to prepare for this?
Honestly,
It's a long
that's
time till October. Got a long
right.
time.
Honestly, that's really funny you ask. I'm not doing anything specific, but the only thing I am doing is I'm really just, I mean, my ego's always in check though. I was gonna say keeping my ego in check, but like I don't
I
really
gotta
have an
do
issue
that.
with that. I
You
think
gotta
it's
give me
more
some
with
tips on
other
how to
people.
do that.
Yeah, right. With other people, I feel like maybe being more mindful of the way people receive things, if that makes sense. I'm not really big on telling people my business anywhere, my accomplishments or anything like that. But I feel like if there's someone close to me that I want to help and I want to, encourage them or something like that, I would probably encourage them in a way that not only that I feel is beneficial, but that I know, I guess you could say, is compatible with them or resonates with them.
Speak
So
people's
I would just be careful
language,
with my words, maybe a little
essentially.
bit more.
Like speak people's language, like talk on their level, essentially, like how you think it's
Yes,
digestible for them, so you don't
exactly.
mix shit up.
Let's, yeah, transform there.
There you go. All right. Well, we
Ex-
got a long retrograde ahead of us, it looks like. So, everybody keep
Right?
your egos in check, right? And keep it private. That's what I'm gaining from this, right? And be ready to shed some skin. And don't be
Yeah, for
freaked out
sure.
if your
Definitely.
electronics are bugging. Just keep it cool.
Power struggles is the big
Oh yeah,
one. So,
and the power struggle and the jealousy. That's right.
yeah, keep
So
in check.
if you
I
got
do
green
feel you.
eyes, got to keep them in check. Don't be
Yeah,
jealous.
100%.
So some people are gonna get caught in the club this summer. You said people are gonna get caught up. People are gonna be going through people's phones. It's about to
No,
get crazy.
bro, nah, you're gonna be fucked up. You right though.
Happy
You
retrograde, everybody! Pluto retrograde, Scorpio, Capricorn, and who's the other one?
It's a Scorpio,
Aquarius.
Aquarius,
There you
yes.
go. All right. Well, if you have any comments about or concerns about retrograde, you can leave them in the comments section of this YouTube video. Maybe we can get back to you and let you know what the answer is. But now let's move on to tarot cards. A very, very, very interesting subject to me. I've always been interested in tarot cards, but I got like readings and I started looking into them probably 5, 6 years ago. I didn't
Yeah,
really actually deep like dive into them, but I have a friend Karen who gave me my first tarot card reading, and it was a fun experience. And she was shouting out some real shit in that reading that I remember to this day. And I was like, wow, she was talking about people. She was like describing them in the in tarot card reading. So she was legit. I believed it 100%. And I've gotten maybe one or two more. I haven't done it in a long time, but it's something that's still very interesting to me. I didn't even know really much history on the tarot cards before I looked it up before the show. It dates all the way back to the 15th century, so like the 1400s. And some people
very,
think it goes further back than that. It's very, very up in the air. It's a very confusing history. Nobody can nail it down really, but the general, I think, thought is that it started in Europe in about the 15th century, and it kind of snowballed and different iterations happened. And it started off as a regular game, just like a card game, like Goldfish or Bridge or something like that. It wasn't the way it is now, where it's like an occult practice and then you were reading fortunes and stuff. It just started off as a regular game. And then some other dude started connecting it with astrology and elements and the Hebrew letters and stuff. And then another dude, like in I think the 1900s, was like, oh, I'm gonna put some fire pictures on this right now, and that's where you get the Rider Waite deck that
right.
everybody uses. So has a long, long history. Tarot cards. How did you get into them? How long you been doing those?
Honestly, it's funny because I've been into tarot card. Well, honestly, I've known about tarot cards way before I've known about or Oracle deck. Because that's usually what I work with more. Um, but I've known about it since I can't, oh my God, since like middle school, a long time. It's been a long time. I've known people who have gotten readings and things like that, and I've heard about a lot of stuff with regarding tarot cards and things like that, but I never really dove into it myself until I would say honestly, like I did research on tarot cards before I even owned my own deck. I only got my own deck like 2 years ago, I would say, for my birthday, because I just wanted to, I wanted to just have them. And slowly, little by little, I've been easing into it more and more and more, if that makes sense. But I do know a lot about the cards in general. I just feel like tarot is a very powerful thing because it's not like Angel Oracle deck cards. Like I like Angel Oracle deck cards because I feel like it's what is it called? A direct connection to angels and to God and things like that. So I feel like the messages are a little different. It's up to interpretation, kind of, you know what I mean? But with tarot cards, it's exactly what it's telling you. It's just straight up, nah, this is what it is. And if you ask the tarot deck a question, will it work out with me and this person? It's gonna tell you what you got me, whether it's good or bad or anything like that. It's gonna tell you exactly what you need to know, and that could be scary for a lot of people, but it's definitely worth knowing. Whatever the question is. So yeah, it's something.
So when you started doing tarot cards, did you start reading yourself? Because a lot of people do the thing where they pick cards on themselves and they get used to the deck like that. Or were you just reading other people from the jump?
Angel Oracle deck, I started with myself and then I moved on quickly to other people. For tarot, I did the same thing. I'm still I honestly do them mostly for myself with tarot deck. Like with Angel Oracle decks, I read for a lot of people, but for what's it called?
Tarot?
For tarot, yeah, I do it more for myself. If I feel like I really need to know something. And it's funny actually, I actually gave someone a tarot reading last night
Really?
for
How did that go?
it went well. That's so funny. That's so crazy we're talking about this.
I know. You
Because,
just right the day before you do one.
yeah, right. And it was the first time I ever did one for a client. It was a client that I
Oh,
had, and
really? So this is your first time doing one for one of your clients. You've only done them personally.
I've only done tarot, yes, personally. The Angel Oracle deck, I do them for everyone, for
Okay.
whoever wants them. And then for tarot, it's more not exclusive, but I don't want to like fully dive into it yet until I know exactly how to, not even how to do it, but I guess the energy. I want to
Get
feel fully
accustomed to the
confident.
energy in the deck and stuff like that. And like
Yeah,
kind
for
of
other
feel
people,
out the
I could do it for
messages.
myself any day,
Yeah.
So
When you do it for yourself, do you do a certain spread or is it just one card that you do when you pull for your question?
I actually pull as many as I feel that I need to. And it's funny because usually sometimes more than what I expect comes out. So I'll be like, oh, I want four. And then eight will come out and they will all resonate. It's insane, but it's
Really?
definitely
Wow. Have you had any what's like the most interesting experience you've had with tarot cards or the Angel Oracle, whichever one you prefer to talk about?
I'll talk about the tarot because that's what we're talking about. I've had a lot with the Angel Oracle deck, but with the tarot, oh my God, it's so funny you asked me that because right when you said the most interesting, I thought of this time. I remember back in 2017 in the summer, I was kind of going through not like a rough period, but I was kind of confused with my life and things like that. And I was 16 years old, I think. No, it was 2018, so I was 17. And I remember I was like kind of confused about a few things. And my friend's older sister had a tarot deck and she pulled cards for me and she pulled the tower card and she's like, oh, the tower card, it means like something is gonna like come crumbling down, but for things to get better
Right.
and this and that. And I was kind of like, I remembered that. I don't even remember the other cards. I think like strength was one of them. I don't fully remember everything else, but I remember the tower card and I was like, I didn't really know much about tarot at that time, but I was like, something is different
That's
about
an
this.
intimidating card. I do like that card though. Because like you
Yeah,
said,
it
that means things are gonna go down. It's about to get crazy, but it's gonna be better after it. I've gotten that card before. And shit
shit.
went down.
Then you
It
know
went
because
down.
it went down because I remember I was kind of like, okay, noted. And then 2 weeks later, this huge thing happened and
That's
everything
the
came
tower.
crumbling the fuck
That's
down.
the tower.
And I was like, oh my God, when everything fell down, I remember to myself, I said, holy shit. She pulled the tower deck or tarot card for me. This is literally exactly what's playing out. I couldn't believe it.
It's
Never forget
wild.
that.
Yeah, I pretty much had the same thing. Like I
Yeah.
think I've gone to tower like once or twice, and it didn't fail.
Play games
It
with
didn't
you.
fail, but it's
Shit.
very like I said, it's a very intimidating card when you see it. Like you
Definitely.
know it's about to get crazy. So that was the
100.
craziest experience you had, the most interesting.
Yeah, it was like my first reading ever, and that was like
Really,
3
that's your first card. You think it's gonna be something like something light, some light
I was,
work, and it's like
if I'm honest, I kind of actually thought it wasn't going to be a big deal. I was like,
yeah.
oh,
Like
okay, yeah, but everything
get
will
the
be fine.
lovers
I
or
mean, that's always my
something.
mentality, but It was like really crazy at the end of
Bam, man
the thing.
came
I
out
was
with
like,
the
holy shit, bro. Like, this is insane.
yeah. Do you have the Angel Oracle decks around you? I never seen that. Could you show us that?
I don't have it on me. Actually, my sister's, hold on. I'll
I'd
pull
like to
one
see
down.
that. I've never heard of that.
Oh,
There's
yeah, you
tons
have
of
it?
different. No, I've never heard of that one. I know there's different types of tarot cards, but I never heard of the Angel Oracle cards.
Yeah, there's a lot. Like this is an example one. It says messages from the spirits of nature oracle. So it's like different decks like this. I like the ones from Doreen Virtue a lot. If you look her up, she was the one who basically not created, I would say kind of created the concept of angel numbers. She has a book on them and I have that book. And yeah, it's like basically on the back you can see it. It tells you different, let's see, it says like honeybee. Well, this is a nature one, but generally speaking, it depends on which one you choose. Like, for example, the ones that I've had for myself, a lot of them are literally angel based. So it'll be like, I have a daily guidance one. You shuffle it, and then it comes out cards that'll be like fresh air. And then it tells you what to do. Like, oh, you got to take a step back and get some fresh air and
Take a
just
break.
relax and
Take a
know everything's going to be all
breather.
right. Let go, move on, come together, things like that. So I
Right.
like that. It feels very comforting to me.
That's pretty cool.
It is,
Yeah,
yeah. I
because some of
like.
the cards can be very scary looking, which we're going to talk about. We're going to get in depth on some of the more popular cards and some of our
Yeah.
favorite cards in just a second. But yeah, I guess that's good because it's more like mellow. It's like more soothing, I guess. And you can get some crazy cards like we said, the Tower, the Devil, Death. So it's going to freak people out, even though they
Yeah.
don't always. It's not really like usually that serious or that crazy. I mean, it can be. But there's different interpretations that people may not know. Like when you see the devil card, you may think, "Oh my God, there's something evil around me," but it's not necessarily that. That's why it's one of my favorite cards. Um,
Yeah. Understandably.
but before we talk about specific cards, how do you feel about TikTok readings and YouTube readings? Because I remember during the pandemic, man,
Oh my
there were
gosh.
that I mean, I would see like so if you don't know what this is, if you don't know what we're talking about, if you look up your sign, usually your sun sign, I don't know, you're one of your big three signs. Like so let's say it's Capricorn. You look up Capricorn tarot reading on YouTube. Get ready. You can be read thousands of times because people are going to pull out, do a spread, however they want to do. They get their candles like, this is what's going to happen to you this week. Some people do it for the week. Some people do it for the month. Some people do it for the year. And let me tell you, I find those entertaining. I did find them entertaining at one point during the pandemic. It's like everybody, there's nothing to do. Everybody was like in the house, and I would like watch them just to see like what they would say. I would never really
Would it be?
believe them because it's just like, how is this person gonna this is such a personal thing. How is somebody gonna read for me? You know what I mean? I mean
Yeah.
that's how I feel about it. Like I would never believe really a
So
YouTube
you
or
never like got an accurate one, you'd say?
I mean, I watched so many just for the fun of it that I can't even think about like one in particular that I would watch that was accurate. And and the other thing too about psychic readings and tarot cards and stuff like that is I've noticed a lot of stuff doesn't happen immediately. Like if they're talking about, so a lot of the stuff isn't always fortune based, by the way. Like when I've gotten readings from people, I've only really let two or three people read me in my life, like in terms of tarot or psychic, because I trusted them, I knew them, they were verified by people I trusted, or they had a good rep basically. And it's
Right.
not always, if you've never got a reading before, it's not what you think in the movies. If it's a good person, they're not going to be like, oh, in 12 days you're gonna meet somebody and they're gonna change your life. Like they could sit you down and be like, yo, you got a problem with this and you need to handle that. Like you got an issue with alcohol or something like that, or oh, you got somebody around you like, and they're giving me a vibe that they're like a snake. You know what I mean? It's not always like a future, but sometimes
Yeah.
it is. Sometimes it is, and I've noticed that when I've gotten stuff that was like, oh, this is gonna happen to you. They would never say what time, and you would think like, oh, like now you're looking for it, and you're like, it's gonna happen tomorrow, it's gonna happen the next day. A lot of stuff happens down the line, like, but it
Yeah.
would be very specific things, and I would think back on the reading and go, oh, I heard this was gonna happen, but it didn't
Mhm.
happen in a month. It happened like 3 months later. You know what I mean? So
Just-
I've never gotten anyone. I've never really put too much thought into one of those YouTube TikTok things. How about you?
Actually, it's funny because I guess you can say the first reading I actually, no, the first reading I got was from that girl. But besides that, after that, I actually knew someone else who he referred me to this YouTuber who does tarot readings. I don't follow his thing anymore. But it was back when I was like 17 too. So, but I remember at the time he introduced me to this, not introduced me, but he showed me the channel, and he told me, "Oh my gosh, he's so accurate." And every single time he was an Aquarius, so he's like, every time he reads for Aquarius, it's always so accurate for me. Maybe it'll be accurate for you. And this was back when he was like starting out the tarot reader, and I remember it was like unbelievably accurate. I will tell you, it does depend though, because there have been times where even with that guy, that YouTuber, I would read or watch some of his videos for Capricorn, and sometimes it didn't resonate with me, but I always knew like I had to keep an open mind, because even he would say in the videos, take what resonates with you. If it doesn't, it's probably not for you at this time, or check your other placements kind of. So if not Capricorn, I would check Aquarius. And basically it would give me all the information that it would be pretty accurate. I won't lie to you. There's certain readers that I'm like, okay, I see what they're talking about. But even then, I genuinely take what resonates with you very seriously, because if I hear something that's okay, one part resonates, the other part's like, that's not me. I don't dismiss it. I'm not like, oh, this shit fake. I'm just kind of like, okay, this doesn't resonate with me, but
Yeah.
the other part did, so I'm gonna take that with me. You understand what I'm
Yeah.
trying to say?
No, I
So
understand. Yeah,
yeah.
because I just think it's so broad. Like you and I are Capricorns, but our lives are so different that it's like, how
Um,
could one reading apply to everybody? But I guess you have a point where you're like, they'll say like a few things, so it's like one little piece may resonate with you, and one might not. So I didn't. I just try not to put too much stock into that. I was just looking at it for fun, just to see what happened, and I can't really remember if something might have resonated with me, something might not have. I don't really remember, but so you kind of pick and choose as the reading goes along, is what you're
Yeah,
saying.
because I don't want to like I used to be kind of like that, writing things off and just being like, oh, it's fake. But at the same time,
Yeah,
I received a good amount of information from you. I'm not just gonna say this doesn't resonate with me overall. If maybe the second part that I don't resonate with resonates with another Capricorn that's not me, and vice
yeah,
versa. Or even some people, they resonate with the whole reading. That's happened to me before as well, where I
that's
would resonate with the
wild.
whole thing and I'd be like, damn,
That
okay.
was for
But
you,
yeah. Yeah, it's literally, I guess it's literally for whoever sees it, it's meant for you. And that's just it?
right? So
Yeah, for
check one
sure.
out, maybe if you never tried one of those, check it out. One day you can fall down a rabbit hole with that. I remember watching tons of them, just because it was just fun to listen to it and see what they were talking about. It was interesting. So
Yeah.
let's get into specific cards. Do you have any specific ones you want to talk about? What are your favorite tarot cards?
Honestly, it's so funny, man. Like one of my favorite cards, and the reason it's one of my favorite ones is because it feels like to me that this has always been very symbolic for me. And this was also one of the cards that appeared in my first reading. It's a strength card. And the reason it's my favorite is because it's just like and I wrote it down here. That's why I'm looking down. But it's just like a very strong courage based card. I felt like every single time I received that, first off, I know I'm a very strong person. That's how I see myself, very strong. So anytime I see strength, I'm like, okay, easy. Like, okay, I gotta be strong, whatever, I'm gonna do it. And it just reminds me of the person that I am, especially in the picture of the tarot card. It's a woman with a lion. She has the infinity. It's like a sideways eight infinity symbol on her head, and I feel like I love the energy of it because she's with the lion. The lion is looks ferocious or whatever, and she's just like smiling at the lion. And she has abundance and prosperity and all the good stuff on her side, so she's not afraid at all. And that's just how I feel like in my own life, that represents me in like my own way, how I see myself and things like that. But
Hell yeah.
definitely I like the determination behind it. I feel like it's very even within the reversed side, because it's upright and reversed. They both have different meanings for each tarot card. I feel like even with that, the reverse tells you to be strong. Reversed strength tells you, okay, you got to stop pitying yourself,
Like you're
stand
not
up and
being
be
strong right now. You better get it together.
uh, get it together. And
Yeah.
then the upright is kind of telling you you are strong, keep going. So I really love that card a lot. And I feel like it's very symbolic, like I stated. And I know that anytime, and honestly, actually, a lot of times whenever I pull cards for myself, that is one of the biggest cards that come out for me. So I
Really?
always know that that's for me,
Because you're strong.
And Yeah, right. And then the next card that I love is I'll save the best one for me for last, but the next one, and I feel like you might know it, is the Lovers
I
card.
knew it. I knew this
You're
one.
gonna say that. I
That's the
knew
one
it.
I
I knew
said
it.
in the beginning. I was like, she's gonna say the lovers. You gotta say the lovers.
I knew it. That's so funny. Lovers, it's actually so funny. I have a like an ashtray with the Lovers card into like resined into
That's
the
dope.
tray,
That's
and I
dope.
love it so much because it's so pretty. But basically the lovers card, I love it because I mean it represents like to me twin flames, soulmates, 1111. That's how I see it. Even within the picture where it looks like Adam and Eve is on it kind of, but it just the overall energy just feels very, and to me the reason I say that is because to me Adam and Eve feel kind of karmic to me in a way. I feel like they're not karmic. I feel like they really love each other, but I feel like they went through a lot of shit together. So it's kind of,
I would
you know,
say
it's,
so.
what'd you
I
say?
said I would say so.
Yeah, right. Shit. But even with that, with all the stuff that they've been through, I feel like it's just about making positive choices and decisions for yourself. So if you have the lover's card, I mean, you could receive that for any kind of question you have. It's not just are we meant to be, whatever. It could be is this career good for me? Is this situation a good thing to be a part of? And that will tell you to make positive decisions based on your situation and what you're facing at that time. So I feel like even if there is, you know, some sort of fear, this always comes through to remind you to put love over the situation and to deepen connections. Unconditional romance is a huge thing, and adoration. So I really love that card and the energy behind it a lot. I think it's really romantic and sweet. And then the final card is the star card. That one I think is another at my best. I feel
I
like that
could see
represents
that.
me. I feel like the strength card represents my power, and then the star card represents star power. So the way that I see it is like it's the Aquarius, by the way, so it's ruled by Aquarius. So I thought that that was also really cool. But it represents renewal and optimism and hope and everything like that, and having faith in the way that things are playing and working out for you. And just remember that everything is going to work out exactly how you intend them to, but you have to basically be pouring into what you want, you know, because there's like stars in the card, there's a woman pouring that lets you know that, you know, it's just about where you're pouring your successes into. If you want to be successful, you gotta put some work into that, but not even just work. It's more of like the mentality of having it and remembering that you are a star and you shine brightly. And I think that that's also always an important message for sure. Just shining brightly and doing you in the best way possible.
Well, if I had to pick three cards for you, it would probably be those three cards. That is,
Yeah,
yeah, those
thank
those dead
you.
ass, yeah, those sum you up pretty good.
That's sweet. I
Those are
appreciate that.
good. I think mine are gonna sum me up pretty good. I think you might pick. What would you think I picked? I mean, I think you already saw what I picked, but
Mhm.
what would you think if I didn't tell you? You could say the ones I said, but which ones would you think?
I would still say I would say death card for sure,
Yeah,
honestly,
of
because
course.
I feel like it's not Capricorn ruled, but it feels kind of Capricorn to me, like the death card in general. It feels very like, you know,
Yeah.
but it's not a bad thing, of course. The death card represents transformation as fuck. And what else would I? Honestly, I feel like the magician. I feel like
Oh,
someone who can create magic and who brings a lot of things to the table, and you're able to elevate things, you know, make things into better situations, like hopeful situations, and kind of multiplying what you got going on in a great way. I feel like that this is
I should
a
have picked that. That was not one of my picks, but I should have picked that. That's a good one. I forgot about that one.
yeah, I don't blame. I mean, I
Hell
definitely
yeah.
understand. I feel like that's kind of like who you are as well. And then I would say for the last one, I feel like I'm trying to think. Oh my God, I'm trying to remember the name of it. It's the one with the fool on. It's the fool,
Yeah,
isn't
as a
it?
fool.
But it
Damn.
doesn't.
I
No, not like that. Like the
think
way
a
I
lot
see it
of
is like
people would describe me as that.
I feel like jokester vibes more, but it's not exactly like that. I feel like with the fool, it's very I guess you could say here, let me see, because I want to be 100% if the energy resonates with you. But I feel like it's kind of giving me, like, yeah, it says like walking into a joyful world and being joyful, excited. I feel like, yeah, maybe you have a rough edge to you in that way, but it's like,
Yeah, I wouldn't use
I feel like you
joyful.
have a good, I don't know, you have a good energy to you, and you definitely bring a lot of it's like new beginnings and innocence and all that good stuff to your table.
Very
I just kind of
innocent.
feel like there's, yeah, it's like new beginnings, definitely. I feel like having faith, and I feel you have faith, even though you do lay off of thinking too much
Oh
about
yeah, you
everything,
already
which
know.
is
I'm always
great.
brushing stuff. I don't know about that. I don't
Right?
know about
I know you said that you're
that.
not an optimist, but I feel like you have a more optimistic edge to you than you think.
That's
And I
probably
feel like
true.
that
Yeah.
definitely represents you. And also it says potential and possibilities. I can definitely see that. It's kind of like with the what card did I
The
just say to
magician.
you?
Yeah, the magician, right? It's like that.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
creating
exactly.
opportunities.
Yes, for sure. Oh my goodness.
Well, let's get to the ones I picked. The first one I already mentioned is the devil. Tell us about that card.
Okay, so basically, man, okay. So I wrote down here, let's see. With the devil card. That one's ruled by Capricorn actually, so
Mhm.
it's pretty funny. Okay, so it represents, honestly, like upright, it represents addiction, depression, feeling restricted, but it is an illusion. So
It's
you
fake.
might think that you're stuck in a situation and you assume, oh my God, I can't get out of this, whatever, it's the end of the road. But in reality, this is all just your ego or your fear making you feel powerless. You know, you got to be able to stand up and to not give up on your power or obsess over things that you feel like are quote unquote out of your control, but neither let yourself stay in an energy or area where you feel like things are out of your control. Like you have to be strong about the things that you're deciding on and not let your ego or fear, like I stated, become a weakness and feel as though, oh my God, it's over for me and all this, you know, you got to be strong. Like you got to be willing to put your foot down and everything like that and just being able to move up from here. And that reverse is also detachment, it's overcoming addiction. It's being independent, dodging bullets, avoiding negative situations.
Right.
So with the upright with devil, I feel like it's more of when you get yourself into a pit and you got to be able to get out of it. But
Hmm.
reverse, it's telling you that you're doing a good job at not wallowing in a pit that you might rightfully feel as though you should be in. You get me?
Right.
So it's a good contrast there, but I feel like I don't know. I kind of feel like it definitely is giving for you just the energy of my fear is definitely an illusion.
Right. I hope so. I
Right?
hope. I need
Oh,
that
you know.
shit reversed. I
You
need
know.
to get it pulled reversed.
You
Yeah.
said you haven't,
No, I said I need it pulled reversed. If
right?
I get
Got
it
it
pulled,
pulled
I need it
reverse
pulled
shit.
reversed. I always
Manifested. That's
related very much to that card. So I remember when I learned about it, I was like, that's my card. I like
oh,
that one a
okay.
lot.
If you feel it, you feel it. It's for
Yeah.
you for
I like
sure.
that.
That's
The good
crazy.
and the bad. Either one. It's
Comes with it.
pretty relatable. So my
Yeah, for
second
sure.
card that I picked was the Hanged Man. Tell us about that one.
Okay, so the hanged man is surrender, letting go. I wrote down here, I can't even read what I wrote. Okay, so basically changing the way that you see things from like a negative perspective or like old things into a new perspective and letting things change and taking pauses in your life so that you can readapt and change your mindset and basically not letting your fears keep you again like in a single place. I feel like with this card, it's very important to just understand that nothing is ever that deep. I think that that's important because here it's almost like the obsession makes you feel as though you cannot let go, you know, but you, with the upright, of course, it's telling you that it's okay to let go and that you are letting go and to surrender and to not resist. Well, actually, reverse tells you not to resist because reverse is more of you're clinging on really tight. And then upright is kind of telling you that no, you're good. Just let it go. You know to like let it go already, but just continue doing that and let your new perspective adapt and change you into something so much better so that you can see everything in a much better light. You know what I'm trying to say? So I think that that is also, I mean, all tarot cards are not, none of them are negative. None of them are actually something that, oh my God, I got this card. What does this mean? It's over. No, you use every tarot card that you get as a way to make your life better and to help yourself improve. So exactly here, like I'm telling you, just being able to let go, like seriously, slow down, relax, and don't stall your changes nor your progress.
That's
Just
it.
be strong about your business, and
That's
that's reverse.
it.
But
I
definitely let
always
it
like
go.
that card because of that. Because I feel like I don't ever take a pause and take a chill, like not even physically, but mentally. I'm very
Capricorn.
like ingrained in what I'm doing all the time, be it good or bad. If I'm in a good situation, if I'm in a bad, mostly the bad situations, I'm very like locked in on what's
Yeah.
going on, and I very rarely take a pause and just hang there. So I really always like that card because it
Right.
just makes me think like, okay, to chill out and gain new perspective on things. That's like the
Understandably.
biggest part of it is to like, because I know there's always another way to look at something, and it's usually the better way to look at something. Like when I'm in the heat of the moment, that's usually not the right perspective to have. Is the one where you're like hot and everything is like moving too fast, and you know you're overwhelmed. So to take a
Yeah.
pause and get a new like vision of something or get a new perspective is usually the right idea. So I always like
Oh,
that card a lot.
absolutely, for sure. And I feel like for you especially,
I need
yeah,
that. I
like you
need to
said,
hang. I need to
these
hang out.
definitely resonate with you.
Hell yeah. I need to be hanging out for a little while. And finally, we got the death card. Very controversial card. You see that, you might freak, oh my God, I'm going to die, or my mom's going to die, or something like that. That's not what it is.
At all.
So tell us
The death
about it.
low key actually love this card. I think this is one of my low key favorites because
Hmm.
it is major transformation, change, letting go of unhealthy attachments,
That's
especially
right.
moving forward, welcome
You see a
change,
pattern with me, right? A lot of unhealthy attachments.
right? Letting shit go and not
A
being
lot of
afraid.
unhealthy attachments.
God is like, come on, man, you got this. Yeah, because I mean, the death card, that's how I see it as well. Like you were stating, well, you weren't stating it, but how I don't see it is like, oh, this is terrible. You can't see it that way because death in general is not the end of anything. I don't care what anybody says. I don't care if people believe that's it. It's never the end. Death is always transformation. If someone passes away, the people around them transform. If someone is going through something that feels like death, they're transforming. It feels crazy, but you're going to be completely fine. And reversed, it also means that, you're going through changes, but you got to stop resisting. With the upright position, it kind of tells you that you are changing, but you're not resisting it too much. But, reverse, you are resisting it a little too much. And you need to learn to take different approaches to be strong and to not let your fears keep you from transforming properly. And you don't want to be wasting time, let go of your fear of the unknown and do not repeat negative patterns. That's what the reverse
That's
position
right.
means. So, yes, it's very important. Like, you got to be wise, man. You got to be strong and courageous, period.
That's
But
right.
yeah,
Yeah, I
yeah,
always like
definitely.
that card because with death, that means something else is going to happen. Something new is going to happen. A new, opportunity or whatever it's going to be. So I always like that card because I know that that means something else is coming after that. Not, I don't focus on the ending of whatever it is. I always think
Yeah,
about, oh, something else is going to happen. Like something cool is going to happen or whatever. Like this situation's over, but something new is on the horizon. So that's why I always like that card.
yeah, for
And obviously because
sure.
it looks creepy and scary and it freaks everybody out.
I know, right?
Yeah, people get that pulled out, they just fall out of their chair. Oh my god, what's gonna happen? This is
Yeah,
scary.
man. Don't worry. That's
Yeah.
funny.
Any other cards that come to mind that you want to discuss before we talk about the movie?
Honestly, I feel like,
There's so many. What is there? 72?
there's 70. Oh my gosh, I actually wrote it
There
down
is
just
a
to
lot
100%
of
sure.
tarot
Okay,
cards.
there are 22 major arcana, and then there's 56 minor ones, so that means that there's 78.
78. Okay, I was close.
Okay, yeah, there's 78. Honestly, I like the pentacles, like the whole pentacles,
Yeah, that
major and
section.
minor ones.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
because I feel
category.
like, or I don't even think there's a major arcana pentacles. Let me make sure. But I will say that with what's it called? The Pentacles, I feel like this one is a really, yeah, it's like new opportunities and things like that. And being able to overcome internal struggles, being very
That's
strong-minded,
right.
career-based, strength, all that stuff. I just feel like it's a lot of new beginnings. And oh yeah, there's an Ace of Pentacles. Yes, I remember that. So Ace of Pentacles, I think that that one's really cool. And I like oh my gosh, I was saying one to you, but I can't remember it. Well, whatever. But
Maybe
I
it'll
can't
come
remember
back. Maybe it'll come back to you.
like if it's meant to be.
There's so many cards. Maybe we'll do another video or something on tarot. You let us know in the comment section if you want us to dive deeper into the tarot cards because there's a lot. There's a lot to be discussed in this realm. But now let's discuss the movie. Let me tell you right now, I was not really excited for the tarot movie at first, but then when we got off our show, you told me what it was about because I watched the trailer, but like I half-ass watched it. I saw it in
Yeah.
the theater when I went to see The Omen, And I just was like on my phone, and then I saw the poster when I got on. I was like, okay, I'll watch it. But these days, I don't even watch a trailer anymore, really, because
Yeah,
they give so much away.
you literally cannot, bro. I refrain from watching trailers
Yes.
anymore. Like, I
Yes.
used to love it, but I can't
So
now.
all I knew was there was a movie about tarot cards coming out. I said, I'm going to watch it. I don't even want to see the trailer because I'm already interested, but I wasn't really
Yeah.
excited because I really didn't know what it was about. But then you told me what it was, that it was the tarot cards were essentially coming to life, or they were manifesting in reality, like the devil or the death card. They would come out as characters and kill the people that got the readings. And I was like, oh, that's what's going on? Hell yeah, that's what I'm talking about. I was excited. And I was looking for that movie every day because you already know most of the time on GKB here we get the bootlegs. We're not even gonna sugarcoat it for y'all. But we go to theater sometimes. Sometimes you don't have time. You just gotta you gotta do what you gotta do. So I was looking around for it, and as soon as it dropped, I watched it. And let me tell you right now, I was pleasantly surprised. It started out. We're not gonna do too many. We're not gonna do any major spoilers because this movie is very, very new. It's like days old. So it starts out with 7 college-age kids. They rented like an Airbnb or something like that, and they find a spooky room in the house. And obviously, they find tarot cards, and everybody's going through their own like little thing. These kids broke up here. This guy's, I don't know, doing something dumb, and they're like, "Oh, let's read the tarot cards and see what's going on." So everybody starts getting their reading one after the other. This guy gets the fool. This guy gets the devil. This guy gets the high priestess. And now I'm like, okay, so now we know who's gonna get killed by what, and I'm excited. I'm like, okay, and you can kind of see how they're gonna die. Because the girl's like, oh, you're too reckless, like you like to do things too fast, so you better slow. So okay, so this guy's gonna die like in a car crash or something like that, and the other one's like, oh, you like to climb too. You're very what she said, like you're very disciplined. And you like to climb a lot. So I'm like, oh, she's probably gonna get hung or something like that. Like she's gonna get hung from somewhere. So I was already invested. And I thought it was they set it up well. To me, at least, I thought the atmosphere was good. I thought the actors were pretty good. The characters were cool for what they were. Yeah. So the reading part was good. They could have lost me there, but so they all get their fortunes read, and then the bodies start dropping. And I'm gonna that's where we're gonna end the synopsis there. But people, the cards start coming to life, and I want to say this: the pacing of the movie to me was really good. Because it did not take. I mean, there wasn't a lot of. I say this a lot, but I say it a lot because it's very important when I find it in a movie that there wasn't much wasted motion. If somebody wasn't getting killed, they were talking about what they were gonna do. They were freaking out. I mean, once they got their fortunes read, it went down, and it did not stop till the end. It wasn't much like, oh, these guys are in the room and they're like. Just talking about something dumb and like, oh, no, these kids are like making out or something like that, like, blah, blah, blah. Or just like, this has nothing to do with it. This is like a side plot. To me, I don't know. You can tell me when you give your review. I feel like it went very well from A to B to C. It was somebody's dying or somebody's freaking out.
Not in a bad way. Yeah.
Yeah. It was quick.
It was quick. It wasn't like, I feel like it was no, I feel like it was a good, reasonable quick. Because I think if they waited any longer, it would have been a little bit like, okay, what the fuck?
They didn't do anything else.
For them to have waited any longer.
One of my favorite aspects of a horror movie, you guys know this if you listen to the show all the time, is when they go see the expert. It's in every fucking horror movie where they go, oh, we can't handle this. We have to go see somebody. And then they see, it's usually like an old person and they don't want to do it at first. And they're like, okay, come in. Once they tell them something crazy. And that's exactly what happened. They figured out, oh, the tarot cards are killing us. We have to go see an expert. And the expert's like, I don't want to see you. And they're like, well, everybody's dying. And they go, okay, come in. Let me tell you all about it. And then you find out the backstory. Yeah, and then you find out everything. And I feel like they got to that point of the movie. That's usually like almost at the end. And I feel like they got to that point very quick. Like a couple bodies drop. They go see the lady. And I feel like the pacing was excellent to me. I was not bored throughout this movie. I will say, the movie was silly. There was some parts where they're freaking out, and I'm like, oh my god, like they just overdo it. Like it's just like it's a silly movie. It's not to be taken seriously at all.
So I get it.
It's basically like a step above a TV movie, in my opinion. Like just the way it plays out, the way it looks, the way they act. It's like a step above, a little bit a step above a TV movie, and that's no knock at it. I actually Really enjoyed this movie. One aspect I enjoyed about it, which I already said, was the story that they chose to go with, which it wasn't really much background. It was just the cards are coming to life and they're killing people. One by
Exactly.
one, the bodies are dropping. And I'm going to say the other thing I really liked about this, which was the design of the cards when they came to life. I really liked the High Priestess when that came to life. I liked the Hangman. I liked the Fool. I really enjoyed the look of the
Yeah,
characters.
I totally agree. The
And
High Priest was the other tarot card, by the
that was
way.
the best one. I think that was the best looking character, right?
I
The
feel
High
like yeah, they
Priestess.
were very animated, but not in like a bad like they were just very real. I guess you could say not realistic, you know what I mean? Because obviously they're
Yeah.
monsters, but they felt very not too cartoonized. You get what I'm trying to
Yeah.
say?
It
Like
was
it felt very, oh my God, what the fuck is happening here? This thing is attacking the fuck out of this person.
they could have
And I
messed
felt
up. They could have messed up.
yeah.
They made those designs like lame or just too cheesy. It would have ruined the movie.
Oh yeah. Oh, if there were like some literally out of the card drawn what is it, 4D shit, I feel like it
Yeah.
would have been a little bit okay. But I feel like this was it was more realistic than that. It was like literal monsters, you know? So I
Yeah.
think that's
I thought that was a
pretty
great aspect. I think the design was great, and a lot of the setups to the kills were really fun. Like the Hangman setup was so fun, and the Fool was my favorite setup of the whole
yeah, they
movie.
were
It was
menacing.
so much fun with the stuff with the elevator, and it's like one thing that was so that's what I liked a lot about the movie, the story and the monsters. And the one thing I thought was so dumb was literally everybody got their reading and they figured out how they were gonna die, right? And they even one of the kids even said it. He's like, "Oh, I'm not supposed to do this," and then he immediately goes and does it. He's like, oh, I'm not supposed to be in any tight spaces, and I'm not supposed to be alone." And then he goes, "Well, I'm gonna leave you guys. I'm gonna go by myself and go in the elevator." And I'm like, "Okay, you literally just said you're not supposed to do that, and now you're
Yeah,
doing
don't
that." I thought that
that
was
is so
so dumb. But
frustrating.
whatever, it's a horror movie. You gotta have dumbasses. So I thought the setups were really good. What did you think about this?
I thought it was a good movie, honestly. I feel like you said, it was pretty it was evenly paced, I guess you can say. I feel like it wasn't I like how there weren't really plot holes or anything like that. I don't like when movies are unexplained. I don't like when it takes forever, a year and a half for a point to come across and all that stuff because I just feel like, okay, what's the point here? But the movie, I mean, also regarding the fact that it is a movie made for, I guess, younger audiences, kind of, you have to keep it interesting. Like you can't just have a whole 30 minutes dedicated to this deep talk they all have. You got to keep it pushing. So I feel like I liked how the characters acted. I feel like they acted honestly pretty really realistic for the age group. They weren't some like 30-year-olds pretending to be 22 and shit. They were pretty like they were with
Yeah.
it. And I feel like the girl who was giving the reading, I liked her because I felt like she knew, she knew what was up and all that stuff. And obviously she knew how to handle that kind of situation at the end of everything. But even with that, I just feel like it was a very symbolic movie. It was very teaching, like they had certain moments where it was like, okay, like they're actually teaching people about tarot cards and things like that. It's pretty cool. And yeah, it was like a good twist on the horror aspect. Obviously, having them come to life and everything would never happen in real life. But it's very cool to see how you can teach those certain things. It's kind of like The Conjuring in a very different way. In The Conjuring, they teach you about the demons and how to deal with this and all that stuff, and then they do it. In tarot, they talked about the cards, what they represented, the zodiac signs with them, all that stuff. And yeah, I thought that was very interesting. I feel like yeah, no, it was very interesting. It was good. I think it was good.
Well, I'm glad you said the movie was for a little bit of a younger audience because I forgot my other critique. The kills, pretty lame. You really didn't see anybody die.
No one
You
die.
did
It was
not
very
see any
quick.
gore. Was there even blood in the movie?
I don't think there was. I just screams.
Yeah, there was really no
Scream
blood.
running away type
Yeah,
shit. Yeah.
exactly. Screams, panning away, which I've seen in other movies that I've really liked, like Bring It On, Cheat or Die. You really didn't see anybody die. It wasn't a lot of dying in that movie, but I still liked it. So regardless of that, I still enjoyed it for what it was. I'm not gonna give it too much, too much of a hard time because, like you said, it's for probably a little bit of a younger demographic than
Yeah,
us. You
Yeah,
know?
it's PG-13. So
Yeah.
whenever I see PG-13, I just assume, okay, like 12, 13-year-olds,
Yeah.
14 year. So it's a little
But did
different,
we
but
even get
yeah, definitely.
one? I feel like usually in those movies they kind of they pump the brakes on a lot of stuff, and then they'll have one or two scenes where they let something go and they'll let something slide, and like a F bomb, or they'll do a graphic killing. Was there anything
Yeah,
too? Did they let anything go in this movie? Like, was there any graphic killing or anything that's
dang.
like more adult? I can't remember.
Honestly, low-key, I don't think so.
I
I
can't
feel like
remember it.
honestly, yeah, no, I was gonna say kind of like the not the killings, but the fear factor. But even that's normal, I would
Let me
say.
tell you
For
this, dude.
yeah, I don't really think there was much.
Let me
I
tell
can't
you
remember. I
this.
think one of the characters cursed, but it
Yeah, I think they
wasn't like a
said a
bad
fuck or
word,
something like
like a
that, like
bad
one
word. I can't
time.
remember what it was. Damn, it wasn't fuck, obviously, but it was like they said something. I was like, okay, I
Besides the fool, I
dick,
forgot to mention this. The magician setup in that kill was great. That was
bro.
another really good one.
Like crazy. I liked how they had it. I feel like the characters were genuinely really menacing, the tarot
Yeah,
card.
the magician was
They were
really
really
good.
trying to kill these people. Like they were not playing games. No matter where they went, it was a wrap. Wherever you were going, you were gonna die. So don't worry about it.
Only thing that
It's
was a
crazy.
little confusing about them was like, okay, was she in another dimension? Because she's like in the house, but then she's at this magic show all of a sudden. It's like,
Yeah, it was kind of
how is
strange.
it
I don't know.
happening? I'm like, and then I go, it's literally the tarot cards are coming to life. Why am I thinking about it? Why
Yeah,
would
like
I even?
exactly. It's
Let me
not
just
supposed to make
shut my brain off right now. And that's what happened. Maybe around that time, things got really silly, like, and then other things happened that I can't recall at the second that I thought was kind of like really dumb, and I was just like, I just gotta shut my brain off and forget. This is that type of movie. This is not
yeah.
like a movie where you're supposed to dive
Or
in, think about it. I was like, this is silly. This is fun. This is like basically a sci-fi channel movie, essentially with a little bit of a bigger budget, and that's not a knock to it because I do like some of those sci-fi TV movies a lot. Again, that magician scene was a stand. Do you have any? Do you have a favorite card or kill scene from that movie?
I'm trying to think. I feel like I look
They
if
did
I'm
really
honest,
good,
like
man. Everything was kind of a
I low key hate
banger.
like what did you say?
Say that again. I said everything was low key a banger on this one. Every
Yeah,
kill.
it definitely was. In general, I hate like killing scenes, of course,
Oh, so
but
this is perfect
I
for you. You
feel
didn't see shit.
yeah, right. Yeah, you're right. You're right. I feel like I liked how the elevator one, how it got up to that point. But I
Yeah.
do agree it was kind of silly how how it the whole thing behind it. But I think that I mean the actors they were all very convincing. So I think that it was more of the reactions. Like you said, it was a little bit too animated,
Yeah.
but
Sometimes I
I
was like,
think that
okay, guys,
they
tone it down.
like tone it down, but I feel like they really reacted in a they just felt really afraid to me. I feel like this even the sad moments, I was like, damn, like I'm really sad right now because this girl's really upset. They were really convincing, and I also like the friendships. I know you asked about the kills, but like I liked how they were like really there for each other. They actually felt like friends to me. I think that's what I liked about it. It wasn't like, oh, they're obviously have not known each other their entire lives. Like they actually, they all seem to get along and comforting each other and all that good stuff. So but as far as kills, I feel like
Or your favorite card, your favorite monster, I should say. Because really,
would
it's
say,
all about the monster, not the kill.
I'd say the Hanged Man.
That was nasty. That was
That one
sick.
that one was crazy for
That was
sure.
good. That was probably the most like I think the most gruesome quote unquote one you're
Quote
gonna see.
unquote, yeah, I was like, damn, like no mercy.
This
I thought it
one
was
kind of felt like
insane.
you ever seen Final Destination? You ever seen
Yes, I
that?
have.
It felt like
Shit.
that, like oh, like and at the end she says a line about fate that I'm not gonna. Oh, that's what it was. They did drop a f bomb at the end, right at
Oh,
the
I didn't
end.
even
I'm not
know.
even gonna say. I'll let the audience see it, but basically, yeah, the movie was about fate. Like, are you gonna outrun the terror card? That like it literally. It was just so dumb how some of these people fell right into the trap after they literally like 2 seconds ago said what they should not do. They were like,
Yeah,
okay, do
can't do
not do A, B, and C. And the person go, oh shit, and they just did it. I was like, can you make
it.
this a little more realistic? Like just a
Yeah, like
tiny,
smarter, be
yeah, can you make
smarter.
these people a little less brain dead? Like really?
Exactly.
Like the chick is
Like,
in a car and it's like, okay, you're kind of safe there. And she just runs out.
yeah,
She just runs away, and everybody's like, just don't run. All you gotta do is just don't run right now. She's like, oh, boop, and she's out. And I was like, that's not what you're supposed to do. They literally told you not to do that.
Exactly.
So,
Like, come on. That's so funny.
but what do you expect from this? Were you expecting something? Were you expecting something brilliant? No, but I really did enjoy this, and I'm gonna say this was a solid 3.8 to me out of
Okay,
5.
that's fair. I would say I would actually say like a 3.7.
Okay, all right, we're right there, right there. I pushing 3.9 to me, but I'm gonna leave it at 3.8.
Yeah, that's fair. That's very fair.
Right, right. Definitely. So I was literally thinking I could watch this again. There's some movies like over the years. I can think of two right now. You ever seen Uncut Gems? It doesn't seem like your type of movie though.
Oh my God, no, yeah. I'm in the middle watching it. It's
No
crazy.
way. Really? With Adam Sandler?
I like
Dude.
those kinds of movies.
Dude,
I like any kind of movies. I just don't like blood, guts, and all that
Oh,
shit.
okay.
Yeah.
When Uncut Gems came out, I watched it
I
five
wanted to
times.
watch it. Yes, I wanted to watch it when it came out so bad, and I never got around to it.
Really? It's your
And I,
first time.
this is my yeah, it's my
What do you
first
think
time.
about
I'm
it so far?
it's crazy. It makes me mad. Like I'm literally fucking
Oh, my heart was racing the whole. It's like it's just constant adrenaline the whole movie.
like I
Constant
just have
adrenaline. It's constant like just chaos. You're gonna love that movie. I watched that shit 5 times after it came out in like a month. Like no lie, I loved that movie. I just watched it again recently.
that's
Another movie I watched like that was La Llorona. You saw that, right? Because that's in the Conjuring series. I
yes.
watched
No,
it.
I
No, you
haven't
didn't.
seen it, but it's on my list.
Watch that next.
Yes, I am
Watch
going
that
to. I
next,
want
dude. Let me know
to.
what you think about that. Like, so some movies, when I see them, I'm like, I want to watch this over and over again. Like,
Right.
I feel like there was another one that just came out. Oh, Five Nights at Freddy's. I watched that like 6 times.
I watched that.
Yeah. That's right. You kind of liked it, right?
Yeah, I really liked how what's his name?
The older brother.
Yes, what's his name in
I
real
forgot.
life?
He's like, I used to know. He's like the guy from Hunger
Yeah.
Games, though.
Yes, Josh
Josh
Hutchinson.
Hutchinson, right?
I really liked it. He acted so
He was
good. I
good.
was like, hey, like
The
he
whole
ate that.
crew I thought was really good
The
in that
betrayal was
movie.
crazy though.
Yeah, so there's some movies that are like I can watch them over and over again, and after I was done with it, I was like, I gotta see this again, like tomorrow. I'm gonna watch
Exactly.
this probably tonight.
Totally feel you so
So
hard.
this was a banger. It was a solid movie, solid 3.8, and it might grow in my eyes as time goes on. I might become more fond of it. It was a fun movie. It was a silly movie with great looking characters, which is super important. Definitely go check it out, in my opinion.
Sure.
I think
I
you're
was,
giving it the stamp of approval too, right?
yeah, I would say so for sure.
Right, right. And you already know The Strangers. That's definitely not your type of movie. The Strangers is coming out this month. The
Yeah.
Strangers Chapter 1. You know we're going to be reviewing that either on that episode or the 6 Hour Spectacular. And speaking of the 6 Hour Spectacular, we are like 3 weeks away because the 6 Hour Spectacular is on May 28th, baby. And you know that Electra and I are going to be on there. We're going to be talking about some scary stuff. So if you like that kind of stuff, you like horror, you like scary stuff, you like paranormal, we're going to be on there. We're going to be talking all about that. So make sure you get ready for the 6 Hour Spectacular on May 28th. I'm also going to be drinking some disgusting sodas. I'm going to be drinking a ranch soda, a buffalo wing soda, a mustard soda, and an enchilada soda, all
Oh,
on that episode. You're probably going to see me vomit. I'm definitely going to spit it out like I did with the dog soda. It's going to be horrendous, but it's going to be a great time. So make sure that you're back here on May 28th, baby. Okay?
God.
Anything you want to say, anything you want to plug, anything you want to do before we go?
You could follow me or find me or watch me at Electrasoul 444 on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok. That's it. Literally, I have Pinterest, I have X, Twitter. I have a lot of stuff. And if you want to find me, you just look me up on the internet and you'll find me.
There you
And
go.
if you want to follow my sisters and I, we have our group together, The Eternal Starlight. You could also search that up on Instagram, The Eternal Starlight. We are dropping a YouTube channel soon slash eventually for sure. We already have everything kind of getting ready to that point. But yeah, follow us, look for us. We're here for you as always, and we love you, and I love you too.
There you
Period.
go.
That's it.
Are you gonna be giving out tarot card readings, or are you not open to that yet? Are you gonna be
Not into it yet, but I'll make it an option eventually on my spiritual readings.
eventually?
portion of my website. Yes.
But you do the oracle cards. I know you said you have done them for people. This the angel
Oh,
oracle.
I do them all the time. I mean, you can, for everyone watching, electrasoul.co, that you could find readings that you would want me to do for you. So,
Hell
yeah,
yeah.
for
So there you
sure.
go. You already know where we at because you're already here. YouTube, Spotify, Apple. Like I said last time, shout out to France because our audience is growing in France. Our audience is growing in Hong Kong. We're
Absolutely.
growing around the world, bitch. This is gonna be
Yes,
epic. This is gonna be great.
international.
Shout out to all the other countries listening, and shout out to America, baby. We love you. Peace and love. See you next time.